We've got the integral of y cubed cosine y dy, and this is a product in the integrand, so we know that this is likely to be an integration by parts problem. And we'll start off by letting u equal y cubed dy, du equals 3y squared, and then we'll let our dv value equal cosine y, and of course then our v will be sine y. And now for integration by parts, we go across and then down over. So what we'll do is we'll say y cubed sine y minus the integral of, we'll pop a 3 out front, so we'll get rid of that. We'll say minus 3, and that comes from here in the du, integral of y squared sine y dy. And this is, again, another product in the integral. So what we'll do is we'll do another integration by parts. Our u will still be y squared. Du, in this case, will be 2y. And then dv equals sine y. And in this case, our v will be negative cosine y. And again, integration by parts, we'll just go across and then down over. So we'll rewrite this first part, y cubed sine y minus 3 in brackets now times minus y squared cosine y minus the integral, but this has a negative in the new integral, so it's a positive, and there's also a 2 out front, so I'll rewrite that 2 there, y cosine y dy. And now we've got one final product here, which is again indicative of one final integration by parts, and we'll let u equal y once again. Du easily becomes dy, and dv is cosine once again, cosine y, and so v is again sine y. So we'll rewrite this all again. Y cubed sine y minus 3 times minus y squared cosine y plus 2 times, and we've got y sine y sine y, because remember, integration by parts, we go across and down over, minus the integral of sine y dy. And that is all the integration by parts problems done now. Now we've just got this one final integral to take care of, and then we can simplify and solve for the final answer. So we'll rewrite this, y cubed sine y minus 3 times minus y squared cosine y plus 2 times y sine y, and then the integral of sine obviously is negative cosine y, and it's a negative out front, so we're going to do a positive cosine y. Now, important to realize here, this is an indefinite integral, so it's always got to have the constant at the end. Make sure you add that every single time. So we've got y cubed sine y minus 3 times negative y squared cosine y plus 2y sine y plus 2 cosine y plus c. We'll rewrite this once more. Y cubed sine y plus, this time we're going to distribute this negative 3 across all of these. So we'll say plus 3y squared cosine y minus 6y sine y minus 6 cosine y plus c. And that is the final answer to this otherwise pretty straightforward integral. If you have any other questions, or if you have any specific calculus or physics problems that you'd like me to look at, please leave them in the comments below. Otherwise, I hope that you found this really helpful.